Quiz number 2. We'll do my usual lame joke. And Sirki, she gets everything right. It's amazing. So on your quiz, this is a pretty good indication of what your quest is going to be like. I'm going to give you some hints about the quest today. Remind me at the end of this quiz, there is one type of question that will be on your quest that didn't show up on this quiz, not blatantly. It showed up, yes, sort of, kind of, a little, ish. Expressed in scientific notation. 5.5 times 10 to the 4th. I think I can make this a bit bigger, Mr. Dewick. 4.2 times 10 to the negative 2. Generally for these, I mark half mark for the front part, half mark for the correct power of 10. 3.64 times 10 to the negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1.236 times 10 to the positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One mark each. Perform the following operations on your calculator. This year, you're going to become good at your calculator. If you can't become good at using your calculator this year, you're going to be losing a lot of silly marks. You're going to have the right work and the wrong answer. And if you want to know the one test error that does drive me crazy, it's when they have everything right except the answer, because that tells me that when we were practicing in class, when we were solving stuff in class, they were too lazy to bother typing the numbers in and making their mistakes when we were going through the questions. They figured, oh, I can figure that out. We're going to be doing some complicated calculator work. You want to get to know how yours works. This is very basic. 7.1. Scientific notation button, negative 4 times 3.6. Scientific notation button, negative 7. Now I get that. How many sig figs am I going to go to in this answer? Because it did say to the correct number of sig figs. 2. Multiplying, it's always to the fewest number of sig figs in your original data, in which case each of these has 2 sig figs. So this is going to be 2.6 times 10 to the negative 10. Half mark for the 2.6, half mark for the 10 to the negative 10. B. 1.42, scientific notation button, negative 5 divided by 4.3, scientific notation button, negative 15. How many sig figs am I going to go to here? Also 2, so it's going to be 3.3, half mark for that, times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Number 3, now it says show your work for performing the following operations. I'm going to do the math first, and then I'm going to look at the sig figs. Now, adding and subtracting, it's not how many sig figs, it's which decimal point is the first questionable one. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go 6, scientific notation button, negative 3, plus 3.5, scientific notation button, negative 4. So that's the answer pre-sig fig. To get the number of sig figs, this is a tough enough one race. I think I'm going to write them in standard form vertically. 6 times 10 to negative 3, this is really 0.123. 3.5 times 10 to negative 4, this is really 0.1234. Where is the first digit that I start guessing? Right here, this is the first digit where I don't know what goes right here. So I'm going to round off to this decimal place. I'm going to round off to the third decimal place, which means my answer is going to be 0.006. 2 marks. If you got it right, you get 2 out of 2. You know what? It's a quiz. If you got it wrong, you get 0 out of 2. I'm not going to give up part marks this time. Adding and subtracting is by far the toughest sig fig rule. Sorry, that's a lie. In high school it is. We haven't talked about how do you do sig figs for sine, cosine, and logarithm. That you need calculus, but for now. Conversions, 3 seconds into milliseconds. I'm going to go 3 seconds times, I want seconds on the bottom, milliseconds on the top. I'm pretty sure milli is 10 to the negative 3, and that always goes next to my base units. Do you get 3,000? Yes?
Yeah.
25 kilograms into milligrams. This is going to be a two-stepper. It's going to be 25 kilograms. First, I want to get to grams, so I want kilograms to cancel, grams on the top. Kilo is 10 to the third, which always goes next to the prefix. Sorry, not always goes next to the base unit, not to the prefix. Psst. Thank you. I also want kilograms to cancel, so I'm going to go... Oh, no, sorry, I want grams to cancel now because I've got kilograms to cancel. I want milligrams on the top, grams on the bottom. Milli is 10 to the negative 3, so I think I'm going to end up going like this. 25 times 10 to the power of 3 divided by 10 to the power of negative 3. Do you get 25 with 6 zeros or 2.5 times 10 to the 7th? Did I say give your answer in scientific notation? Nope. So I don't care. If you have a 25 with 6 zeros, full marks, there's no way you can make me write that much out unless I have to. It's much easier for me to write it in scientific notation. 1 year into seconds. Always start out by writing down the question. I feel better. Do I know how many seconds are in a year? No. Oh, you know what? I know days. 1 year is 365 days. And yay, the years cancel. And I know that 1 day is 24 hours. Yay, and the days cancel. And I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. Yay, and the hours cancel. And I know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. Yay, and the minutes cancel. And so, let's see. It's going to be 1. I'm not going to bother typing the ones. That can't make me. 365 times 24 times 60 squared, because there's two 60s. Do you get 31536,000? 31536, 31536. 1, 2, 3. I didn't say in terms of sig figs what to round off to in this section. So if you did 3.15 times 10 to the whatever, I'll take that too. But this I'll write out because it's a final answer. On that note, turn the page. More sig fig practice. 1.25. 1.25 times 0.5. How many sig figs is my final answer going to be? 2.
2.
Not 3? Not 1? 2? This is 2 sig figs. This is 2 sig figs. So final answer is going to be the 2 sig figs, which means I'm going to write it as 0.63. 51.3 times 3.94. 202.122. How many sig figs? 3 sig figs, 4 sig figs. Final answer to 3 sig figs. Final answer is going to be 202. C, division, same rule as multiplication. 4.37, scientific notation button 3, divided by 0.00856. I don't need to put the 0. I get that. How many sig figs? This is to 4 sig figs. This is to 3 sig figs. I'm going to go to 3 sig figs. 5.11 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Adding and subtracting, the tougher of the two operations. I'm going to rewrite it vertically, 38.002 and 0.12378. Email, I thought I closed you. Close. I am going to end up rounding off to this column right here. 38.123, oh, that's a 2, Mr. Duke, plus 0.12378. I get 38.12, I'm going to round off to the third decimal place. I'm going to get 38.126. Subtraction, same rule. 512.06 minus 65.2. Okay, this is going to be 512.06, 65.2, subtract. I'm going to round off to that decimal place right there. It's going to be 512.06, take away 65.2, and I get 446. I'm going to go to one decimal place, 446.9. How many lions are 48 parrots with? Okay, we're going to start out with 48. I'll use P for parrots. I need a conversion factor. Let's see. Well, I want parrots to cancel, zebras to be left behind, because I do have a conversion factor that relates parrots and zebras. One zebra is 5 parrots. And the parrot is dead. A little Monty Python reference for some of you that have obscure senses of humor. Okay, now I've gotten, whoop, that was a little strange. Whoa, come back. Now I think I've gotten rid of parrots. Now I want to get rid of zebras. I can go to monkeys. 8 monkeys is 1 zebra. And now I can go from monkeys to gorillas. 1 gorilla is worth 6 monkeys. Dope. I got stuff vanishing that's not supposed to be. 1 gorilla is 6 monkeys. And now I want to get rid of gorillas. Oh, and I can end up in lions. So gorillas on the bottom, lions on the top. 2 lions is 5 gorillas. So it looks like I'm going to go 48, ignore the ones, 48 times 8 times 2 divided by 5 divided by 6 divided by 5. I think I'm going to go 48 times 48 times 8 times 2 divided by 5 divided by 6 divided by 5 to 2 decimal places if necessary. Is the answer 5.12? 5.12 lions. 3 marks if you got that. Otherwise, I would give you 1 mark if you started a chain, and then a half mark off for each one of these you had in the wrong place. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 conversion factors. If you've got them all in the wrong place or upside down, that means you've lost 2 marks. The best you can do is 1 out of 3. How many got that? Nice. I like that question. That's a nice question. Why would I say that? Did you hear me say it was going to be on the test? Or are you the kind of student that just notices when a teacher emphasizes certain things and your ears are alert to certain nuances that the teacher puts out there, and you make a little mental note to yourself, oh, this point of emphasis might mean, because this is a good teacher, that I might be seeing it as a preview of coming attractions? Are you that kind of a student? Good for you. Because I like it. God. Captain Obvious back there. You're in an academic course. Let's put 2 and 2 together and at least get 3, hopefully 4, but at least get 3. Number 7, graph the following equations on the grid below. I need a ruler. The first one has a y-intercept of -4 and a slope of 8. What number is in front of the x on the top there? It's invisible. This is a slope of 1 over 2, which means up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Can I cheat? Let's see if I can cheat. Draw. My old computer couldn't handle this because it didn't have the processor speed, but maybe this new machine does. Ooh, nice. Call that line A. I would give you a half mark for the correct y-intercept and then a half mark for the slope. Okay. B. Y-intercept of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of positive 5 and a slope of negative down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And I'll back count. Come on. I think it can handle it. There we go. You'd be amazed how much math a computer is having to do to straighten out a line like that. It's quite stunning if you learn about graphics. What's wrong with... Oh, let's call that B. What's wonky about C?
That's not any slope in it.
I got to get the y by itself. How? I think the first thing that I would do is I would minus 3x over to both sides. I would have this in my mind. I would have a negative 2y equals, I would have a minus 3x over here and a positive 4. I still don't have the y by itself. How would I get rid of that negative 2? What's it doing to the y mathematically? Multiplying, so how would I move it over? Divide everything by negative 2, I'll get this. Y equals, in my mind, I'm going divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. What's a negative divided by a negative? And I'll write the slope as a fraction because I actually prefer that, 3 over 2x. And then positive 4 divided by negative 2. So this has a y-intercept, I'll change to green, of negative 2 and a slope of up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2. Is that right, folks? And let's try this again. Wow, that's way off. Try it again. Oh, I'll adjust it. Whoop. Okay, let's use the mouse. Come on. Pretty close. Probably do a little better with a ruler. That was C. What's weird about D? Well, actually, it does have a slope. By the way, I got to be fussy. In math, no slope actually means a vertical undefined. Slope is 0, which is a horizontal line. This is going to be a y-intercept of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right there. In fact, it's going to look like this. D. So 1 mark for each of those. For each line, I think is what I said, 1 mark each. So 1 mark each would imply 1 mark each. I'm just spitballing here, but I'm pretty sure. That is what it says there, yes? Hopefully an easy 4 marks. The last thing, number 8, and this you're also going to be asked to do on your test, but this is where I want to give you, no, I'll wait till the kids come back from the hallway. I'll give you a hint about the test. Give the equation of the following lines in slope-intercept form. Line A, it's going to be y equals... What's the slope? Slope is rise over run. It looks like it's up 1 over 1. Up. Check my scale. Is each square worth 1? Got to check that, because on your test, I guarantee it won't be. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So the slope is 1x. Do I really need to put the x there, or is it implied that there's an invisible 1 in front of there if I left it off? That would be okay. What's my y-intercept? -5. Half mark for the correct slope, half mark for the -5, so 1 mark. However, if your format is wrong, if you're missing the y or the letter x, you also lose a half mark. So you might get a 0 even though you got part of that right. Line B. Y equals, what's my rise over run? Well, it looks like it's down 3 over 2. Down means negative 3 over 2 x, and my y-intercept is +5. Is that right? Okay. You can give yourself, you can half mark for the slope, half mark for the y-intercept. That page is out of 6. And if you'd be so kind as to give yourself a score at the very, very tippy top out of 25, I believe it is. Let me double check the math. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That page is right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 is 8. 11 and 8 is 19. And then I got 6 more. It is out of 25, yes? So, give yourself a score out of 25, please, at the top. And now is the time to come lawyer with me. Folks, we got to say we're impressed by Sean because Sean pointed out a mistake that Mr. Dewick made on number 3. Can you all look at your quiz number 3, please? Now, if you wrote .006, since I made that mistake, you'll still get the full marks. You'll still get 2 out of 2. However, he said, hey, Mr. Dewick, there is a 0 after that 6 right there. Mr. Dewick, you actually do know that this particular digit right here is a 0, Mr. Dewick.
No, you have your screen frozen.
Screen frozen. There is a 0 right there because it did put a 0 right there, which means, Mr. Dewick, you know that. You should be rounding off, Mr. Dewick, to this decimal place right here. He is right. So I will go .0060 plus .0035, and I'm going to round off to the 1, 2, 3, 4th. Thank you, can't type. I thought I hit 3 zeros, maybe not. I'm going to round off to the 4th decimal place right there. What's next to the 3? A 5, so is this 3 going to stay a 3 or is it going to become a 4?
4.
So in non-scientific notation and standard notation, that's the correct answer, or 6.4 times 10 to the negative 3. So if you marked that wrong, because I did it wrong brilliantly, you can fix it. If you got it wrong, but I said it was right, you can keep the marks, because it's my fault. Any other lawyering with me? Okay. If you would be so kind as to put your names on the quiz, give yourself a nice clear score at the top, and if you'd be so kind as to hand them in, please.